Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed is a spiritual crossing of the threshold to the world of being a truly expanded human being. Join mediums Cheryl and Kelly for conversations about discovering deep spirituality, developing your intuitive and empathic skills, and personal mediumship. Each episode will focus on tips, tools, and techniques to help you understand and expand your own inner gifts of life journey. Now, your host of Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed, Kelly and Cheryl.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Seeing Beyond Living Transformed, a wonderful spiritual show where we're talking about everything metaphysical tonight. So we want to welcome all of our listeners to our program. Please send your questions in the comment section or to our website at questions@seeingbeyondradio.com. Let me take a moment and say hello to my colleague. Hello, Kelly. Hi, how are you tonight?
I am great, Cheryl, and I want to remind you about our little giveaway we have going on tonight. And Brianna posted it in the private chat if you want to share it on your pages. I just shared it on mine.
Oh, thank you. I will share it. Do you want to tell me about it?
So tonight, if you share the live that we're doing tonight, you share it, you tag someone, and you sign up, subscribe for our newsletter, or if you're already subscribed, that's great. You'll be entered to win. For me, I'm giving away one of my 3-month online mentorships that starts this Saturday. And you can read about it on my website. And then Cheryl is giving away a 15-minute reading. Yeah.
And
so check it out. You gotta so if you're gonna try to enter mine and Cheryl's, you want to go to both our pages on Facebook or YouTube, right? You don't have to be both, but one of them. And, like the page or subscribe to our YouTube, either one for both of us. If you want to enter to both contests, you have to tag someone. And I don't know how YouTube works with tagging, but invite somebody to YouTube if you're on YouTube, and then subscribe to our newsletters. And then you get entered. And at the end of the show, we will go through and look to see who did all of this and pick a winner and announce it in our newsletter that you subscribe to. So you'll find out the next day if you won or not. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
And I'm so excited about this giveaway. I mean, it's always lots of opportunities to gift someone a reading, or Kelly, like you're gifting them a wonderful gift as well. So I think it's just lovely what we're doing for this show, trying to not only build our audience, but to bring people into more of that spiritual awareness and spiritual strength and power that everyone has.
Yes. And let's see. And Brianna's just sharing lots of stuff for us in the back so we can share it on our page, because it came to our attention that when she shares it, it goes to all of the radio shows pages, but not our pages. So we have to share it to our pages now, and that's what we're doing. So hopefully it's coming through nice and neatly. Okay.
Welcome, everyone. And we'll be talking more about the gifts, what we're sharing and the raffles, but just keep a lookout for those comments. We'll be posting more links as the show moves on. But today's topic, it's a really neat topic, and one that I feel we need to do more often. It's called, angel emails and chit chat. And what our program is about tonight, it's about catching up on emails. So many of you send us your questions, and whether they're for you personally or they're just a question that could apply to everyone, we want to read some of those tonight and answer those. And also, with you joining us live here, please type in your questions, whether it's something that you're going through, or if you just have a question that you feel other people might benefit from about spirituality, metaphysical, angels, spirit guides, mediumship, psychic readings, intuition. Please, many topics to talk about tonight. So let's begin. Let's start away. And Kelly, what about you? What do you feel about tonight and the energy and the topic for tonight?
I'm feeling good. I am getting over my cold, And I just checked our emails, Cheryl, and oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people emailed us tonight, or even this morning, starting it this morning, for questions for the show today.
Thank you, everybody.
Or comments about the timing of the show or something. Yeah, but I'm excited to read those. And I'm excited to do readings tonight. I think we're going to do a couple readings towards the end, right?
I'd love to do that.
Yes, and I'm super excited because it's like a new month, and I just have to share. It is my birthday month, and this girl likes to celebrate the entire month. So every week I'm going to talk about my birthday because I'm a birthday girl and I love birthday.
When is your birthday?
September 29th. Don't forget it.
September 29th. That's a 2 and a 9, right? That's an 11.
Yes.
I don't know if you added.
I don't know what my number is. I always forget, but I'm awesome. That's all I know.
There you go.
When you do that, what is that? Human design. I'm a generator, a manifester or something, and so is Paul, and so is Aiden. Is that not the most interesting thing you've ever heard?
That's fantastic.
Thank you, Jessica. Is it your birthday this month too, Jessica, or when's your birthday? You're in July, I think.
Are you a Libra?
I am a Libra. Can't you tell?
I think you're one of my first Libra.
I'm so balanced. Can't you tell? Yeah. I'm not balanced, but that's what everybody thinks of Libras. I'm a mess. Now I haven't found the keys, Maria. But you know what we did is we got spare keys, and we were able to give the car away, and we're still looking for the keys. So keep manifesting for us. And if you think of anything or get any kind of like visions, email me.
Did you lose your keys, Kelly?
For the car that we were giving away. We gave the car away because we got the spare keys. But the key that we lost was the key fob. So he's got a key for the door and a key for the ignition, like old style. It's a 2002 Chevy Suburban we gave to a friend.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and it's a nice car. You know, I mean, it's old, but it's nice. It had one owner, one of our employees. We bought it from him this summer to use in on a job site that we were doing in another state. So we didn't have to rent a car for 3 months, right? Because that was expensive. So we paid $2,500 for it. We're done with it. And my husband and I were like, well, let's give it to somebody who could use it.
That's great.
We always say you got to give it away to make it. I think that's what he says. I forget the saying now. My husband says it all the time. You got to give it away to bring it in.
Yeah. Oh, bring it in. Maybe he's watching with tonight, Paul, because he.
Oh no, he's such a smart little brat.
He joins us sometimes on the show. I see his comments.
I know. Talking about ice cream and we're all talking about dieting. Oh my God, my husband's the worst. I love him though. He's so bad.
Yeah, he's so funny. He's so.
Well, not when you're dieting. And he's like, what kind of ice cream do you want? He is not helpful. I think he enjoys me being fat. I don't know.
I hear you.
Yeah, he is getting dessert, Courtney. Exactly, because he's in Vegas today. He drove there, so I'm sure he's getting dessert.
Gelato baby at the
probably, yeah. He's working a job tonight, so
yeah. Gelato at the Bellagio. That's always good.
Oh well, we always stay at Red Rock.
Oh, Red
away
Rock.
From the Strip. We used to go to the Strip all the time. We spent so many years at the Strip, but I just think like we're getting older. And it's so nice to be like away from the Strip. We love Red Rock. We like to go hiking. There's a hidden waterfall in the desert out there that we love to go to. So, and we always dream about like retiring out there by Red Rock because it's just so beautiful. I love the desert. We both do. We love the beautiful sunsets over the mountains, and Red Rock's so gorgeous.
I'm writing it down so I can look at that later.
It just makes me feel so energized to be in those, like the mountains, right around all those mountains in the desert.
Wonderful.
I really love it.
Then you just go down into Vegas. It sounds like a great, leveling out, a great balance.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've talked about it. Like we lived in Vegas before, but we were really close to the Strip. It was 20 years ago almost. And I had young children, and so it wasn't an ideal place for young children, but it's definitely a place to retire, but it's not a place I feel to raise a family. The kids couldn't go outside and ride their bikes safely.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great place. I love the desert. I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
live in Arizona too, in Sedona.
Mhm.
Yeah. As long as there's mountains.
Yeah, it was so
Mountains or ocean. Mountains, oceans. I would have my ideal life, and I'm going to come back just to do this, a desert home, a mountain home, and an ocean home.
that would be awesome.
Right? And you just kind of go back and forth wherever you're feeling drawn at the time. That's my future life when I come back.
I love it. That leads us to our first question, Kelly. That's a good segue because I just
Yes.
read this question and it's about our loved ones who have crossed. So you're
Yes,
talking
read it.
houses in your next lifetime. Here's a question. Thanks, Brianna, for sending this. Brianna, hello, Brianna. She's our colleague behind the scenes. This question is from Joe R. It says, "Hi, I have a question. Why don't our loved ones who passed tell us exactly what it's like on the other side? I always see them saying certain things that validated them, but never a full sentence of what happened after they died or what exactly happened after their death that might shed some light on what's really happening." So, what
Well,
do you think?
that's a great question, Cheryl, because I don't know about you, but they tell me every time, and it's always part of my reading. So it probably depends on what medium you go to and what we resonate with. Because I actually remember being in the spirit world for 13 years before I was ever born. And spirit often shows me in a reading what they're doing and what jobs they've taken and who they're with. And so I can see like this big, and they love to show me that they're at a party because they're at a party with everybody on the other side. And I know you wrote about spirit parties,
I did.
Cheryl. Yeah, so I think you see that too. It is a great question, but not everybody sees that.
Exactly. And for Joe and for everyone is, as a medium, as an intuitive, really some of the spirits that I blend with and connect with do offer, and I'll just say I do pick up information in complete sentences, but not all the time. But I do think it's a great question to ask, Joe. Sometimes I'm sure the medium is trying to give as much information as they can with the time allowed. But I do believe your loved ones step through, as Kelly mentioned, either in full sentences or even in images, right? We could see a full image of what they're doing, and that's how it's interpreted. Or, maybe we hear a word or two, and that helps us kind of complete that feeling or message from your loved one. So I'll just say with Kelly, Joe, maybe get a couple of more readings, but they'll come through different with different loved ones. And really what's most important is that they're coming to you, or they're hoping, you can connect with them, hopefully in your dream state, or maybe sense their love around you, their presence.
Yeah, and Cheryl, before I ever developed and became a professional medium, I've always seen spirit. How I saw them before I learned that I could do this when I'm awake was when I was asleep. And I often would have visitations almost every night with people. And to me, what we would do is we'd meet and it would be somewhere beautiful, that was just tropical, or maybe it was a place that we had familiar with, if it was family or friends, and they were always telling me all these great things that were going on in the spirit world. So for me, they've always done that. And but when I started developing, I felt that I needed the evidential portion of it first, because I felt like, for me, I'm such an analytical person, I needed that proof myself to validate that I was really doing this and I wasn't making it up. But, once I started to understand and learn and develop it, it is part of my readings. I'm always saying what they're doing if they tell me. Yeah, and I love that.
And also, Joe, that's a good point, is if it's the need of the spirit world to bring that information through for you, then they will. Believe me, they will get it across. But perhaps they have other things that they want to share or talk about, and they'll get to that later, we'll say, or they'll give some of that and then get on with other messages too, because really they're here for you. Your loved ones are here for you, to support you and guide you, and to, let you know that they are with you.
Yes, exactly. That was a great question. And I know that we have another one. So I'm trying to go to the top where Brianna posted them all.
Okay.
So here's one. For about a month now, when I'm sleeping in both ears, I hear 3 voices and I can't understand them. They are all talking at the same time. Is everything okay, or are they trying to tell me something important? Please help. It keeps me up, Brenda. Oh, Brenda, let me tell you, welcome to my world. This is how I lived my life until I started developing. That was so noisy. I tell you, I never slept. And my son, when he was little, used to say the same thing. It's so noisy at night, Mom. There's so many people talking to me. And here's the thing, you need to set boundaries with them. They are just trying to get through because you're like this beacon of light. You're like this, if you think about it, it's like, what do they call that on the ocean when they have that light that helps the boats?
Lighthouse?
A lighthouse. Yeah, you're like a lighthouse to the spirit world. And everybody's like, oh, this girl can feel us and see us, and she's connected to somebody that I love. Let me try to get through to her. And they're all trying to talk to you at one time because they're all excited and see that you're so open and you haven't set any boundaries with them. So they're going to be really noisy. So I want to tell you, if you're interested in developing that, that would be great. But if you don't want to develop it and you just want to kind of shut it down, set a boundary. Ask your spirit guides, your protector guide, to stand guard and tell them to send everybody away. And you tell all the spirits, like, don't bother me while I'm sleeping. This is my time to sleep. Because when I learned that and I did that, I've slept very good ever since. They do not bother me at night anymore unless I've been drinking. That's another story. Yeah. What about you, Cheryl?
Brenda, to answer your question, I hope this helps, Brenda, but it's so funny, all the synchronicities in our life, right? But I just did a reading for someone today. I brought through her loved one, and guess what happened? Her loved one brought through another loved one, brought through another one, brought through the whole family. And here comes all the noises. So I was bringing through, and it wasn't so much noise as people talking, as you mentioned. It's the voice you're hearing
over each other.
Yeah, they're all wanting to come in, and some of the louder ones are coming in first, or what have you. But it does turn into a big spirit party afterwards.
Yes.
When you're developing, it's not that they are trying to keep you awake. It's not that. It's perhaps that's the time of the day or evening when you are at your most quiet,
and that altered state.
Right, like during the day, you're on with your life, your day. You're in the noise of life, so to speak. But in the evening, when you're calm and quiet, you're hearing them. So I am sure they're with you more than just in the evening.
Right.
Believe me, they are wanting to encourage you, I am sure. And yes, you can develop and connect with them by, hey, they're friends. I'm sure they're friends that you haven't met yet, so to speak. But they're trying to encourage you or reach you as you are that light, because you're hearing them and they know that.
So you're very clairaudient, right?
Super important. What's that?
She's very clairaudient.
Very clairaudient. So, for example, when I do my work as a medium or a psychic, I usually work, 8 to 5. Those are my hours, right? So I do have that. Those are boundaries, so to speak. I'm open. I'm here. I'm ready to go to work. After 5 o'clock, just like you, I'm taking the evening off, so to speak. But by setting those boundaries, and they're realistic boundaries, I really feel that that's working that psychic muscle of yours, working that intuitive muscles about opening and then closing, so to speak.
Yeah, honestly, when I was younger, I didn't want to tell anybody what was going on because I thought they'd think I was schizophrenic.
Well,
but I knew it was spirit. I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew that all my life. I could hear them very clearly before I started developing. Now that I've developed, it's strange because other senses have gotten stronger and that one not so strong, which I wish it would get stronger again. There's a great question, or not even a question, a comment here from Sherry, which I want to address because it says, she says, when my daughter first died, I swear I felt her sitting on my bed. I can relate to this, Sherry, because there's many a times where I felt my son sit on the bed and literally the bed was indented. And I felt his hand hold my hand. So I do think that our loved ones, especially our children, try to comfort us when they first leave, because they know how distraught we are. They know how hard this is. And, and I think that's, it doesn't happen with everybody, but with our children, I think it's super strong. But here's the thing. My dog died a few years later after my son. And I was so close with this dog, Jet, and he was only 6. It was so difficult to lose my dog after my son. It actually triggered my grief. I was a mess, and it happened on my birthday. So literally, as soon as my dog passed, I kept feeling my dog on the bed, and I felt him because he always used to snuggle up to my backside and sleep there. And I could feel it, and it was indented, just like when he slept there. And it was quite interesting because when I moved, he would move. So, I think when you have such a bond with somebody who's like a child, animals can be like children as well as our children. That can happen. Even your love, like I've heard or done readings where somebody has been married 50 years, 60 years, and their husband died, and they swear that they feel their husband sitting on the bed with them, holding their hand. And before they even tell me that, I see it. So, definitely.
Yeah. Sorry, Kelly, go ahead.
Oh, she says it was kind of scary, but I was disappointed too because she wasn't there in person. But it's a beautiful thing though, Sherry, not to be disappointed, but to appreciate it and be grateful, because it takes a lot of energy for them to do that, I think.
And Sherry, really step into that knowingness of, you had a visitation. I mean, when we have dreams or experiences that are that powerful, it can be a visitation from the spirit world, which is extra special, where we know it's real, like nothing prevents us otherwise. And that's when you step into the knowingness rather than, was that a dream, or was I dreaming that, or it could have been.
No, right?
It was the real deal. And how fortunate are you and I and Kelly and everyone listening to our call today that really in 2023, this is mainstream conversation, right?
I love it.
Yeah, back in the day, people wouldn't talk about this type of topic. And because you and I were all realizing how many people are awakening to their spiritual gifts, spiritual abilities, or even the spiritual curiosity of
wanting. At such a young age now, too.
What's that?
At such a young age now, too.
Young age, right? And age. But Sherry, it can be scary for sure. But I just believe the more you are asking your loved ones to come, I'm sure your daughter, you might even have that visitation happen again. I mean, more than once is certainly common too.
And I'll say this, for the first 6 months after my son passed, he came every night. And we went on a journey in the desert. And in the desert, it was a beautiful, like we're walking, and that footprint in the sand.
Yes.
I'm seeing the footprints. I am like astro traveling for sure. I'm like in another dimension with him. And we're holding hands, and there's like no words. It was just pure love. And to our left and to our right was almost like this circle, like a portal into our memories. Mm-hmm. And we would go in and we'd observe ourselves, and I would feel what he felt and he would feel what I felt. And we understood each other like so much better. And we did this for 6 months, all the way back to the day he was born, and in my womb. And it was fascinating, and it was so healing, but I was so open to it. And I think to myself, how blessed I am to have had that opportunity, because to me, I went through his life review with me. And I was able to get healing from that and know how he felt and understand what he was going through, and what he understood what I was going through. And we had so much, I want to say, like forgiveness for each other. And I think that was beautiful. And I think, we have to honor those things and be really like, yes, it can be disappointing because they're not really here, but it's also what a gift or what a blessing it is to have that.
And my brother, I had a visitation. My brother came to me it was actually New Year's Eve, a few years back, about 3 or 4 years ago. New Year's Eve, he came to me, sat on the edge of my bed, at the foot of the bed, and really came to check on me. He's like, I'm here to check on you, and I'm here to check on Mom. And I knew it was my brother because that was his face, his head, but from his neck down, it was like a purple glow or a purple gown. as if to say he had ascended to a point where all I needed to see was his face. I didn't need to really see everything, his body or anything, but I knew it was him. I could hear his voice as clear as day, talking to you guys now. I mean, those types of experiences, I felt so lucky and I was so elated. I mean, still to this day. So I do believe, Sherry, that, your daughter, it will come to you in more ways that are just so going to be amazing for you.
Mm-hmm. And Courtney, I'm not sure I understand what your question is. It says the person hearing voices she says, was the other person being told bad things or good things? I would worry if you're being told bad things. The person hearing voices keeping them awake. I don't think I've never been told bad things, except one time my dad likes to yell at me and tell me to clean my room when I was after he passed, because I'm a bit of a hoarder. By the side of my bed, I like to keep all my books and everything and all my little knick-knacky things there by my bed, and he would always say, get up and clean up your room, just like he did when I was a kid. But he wasn't being mean. It was just my dad.
Just to tell Courtney, Brenda did not say anything about anything negative or anything about voices. She was just saying, look, what's happening? I think that was her. So just to tell you, and yeah.
Here's an interesting question. I'm not sure I understand it, but I think I'm going to see if she posted before this. No. She says, because they say there is no past or future in the spirit world, how can we be with our loved ones simultaneously when they have already passed? I'm thinking, I'm a little confused by the question, but I'm going to go with what I think she means. So I do believe that we can be, because to me there is no, it's not the straight line for our lives, right? So for me, it's circular, and we can be here in the future and we can be in the past in the spirit world, as well as living somewhere in the middle. And as a soul, we're connected to all of that, and we have all of that information. I believe I have often, since a child, felt the future, the past in other lives, but also at the same time, I know I'm in the spirit world. This connection to a part of my soul is still connected to the spirit world. So that's my belief. I know everybody has their own theories or beliefs. I can only go off of what I've experienced and what it feels to me and what resonates for me. I'd be curious, so what do you think, Cheryl? Because I know we're all different.
I loved how you looked at it, Kelly, and I think your explanation was wonderful. And Daphne 22, I just want to say your question is very appropriate, because I feel you will live your way into this answer. You are asking this question and you will attract the answer for you that works for you. I also feel that the question you're asking is where the world is going, which is the fifth dimension, right? We're all moving towards a higher consciousness. We're all moving towards our own spiritual awakening. And we are realizing that we can connect with our loved ones who have departed. We can connect with our future self, our past self. We can connect with our past lives that we've had in Egypt or wherever we've had them around the world, and future lives as well. And as Kelly said, so we don't look at time horizontally.
Yeah, no.
That's an earth thing, right? We measure these things because this is how we understand and bring understanding. We can have conversations. But the world works, as Kelly mentioned, in a circle or vertically. Like you can have past lives and future lives and your loved ones here and also departed and you yourself, and you can connect with everything, because the question you're asking, Daphne, is something that perhaps our consciousness is so vast, right? It's so and wonderful that I do believe that part of where your question's coming from is the part that we're all going to realize the answer for ourselves. That's what I'm saying. Is your question is very appropriate.
It's a great question, I think.
That's where we're heading. We're going to find more answers to your question that you're asking. But I do agree with Kelly, and I are thinking the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I've always felt that way. It was hard to explain or put into words until I started developing. And honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like, I still couldn't put it into words when I first started developing, because it was hard to like get out of my head. But my son, when he was 6 years old, 10 years ago, he put it perfectly, and it just clicked. And I was like, wow, only a child could do that, right? So he kind of told me the same thing. Like, he says that us humans can't comprehend comprehend or contemplate, like, or not comprehend, I guess is what he said, the way it is over there. So they give it to us in simple terms. But he says there aren't levels, there isn't like time or space or like any of that. It's really more like we're evolving and growing, and there's what we use words like level, right? But we're all connected, and it's all part of our journey, and so even though some people think, oh, this is a lower level spirit because their energy is low, it's really just like, so people are scared of shadow men and things like that, but they're really just souls that are trying to learn and evolve. So they come and they watch and observe, and they could be actually, while they're doing that, at the same time be living on this earth.
True. And so therefore, I mean, and to add to that, if our loved ones who have crossed over are connecting with us through connecting with you, they are also at the same time living out their purpose there. And part of their purpose is to be with you, for sure. No doubt about it. Your loved ones are here to support you and help you on your journey. No question. And at the same time, they also can be doing other things, or in this, the movement of thought or creating. They could be, having another lifetime as someone else,
Right.
or they could be relaxing on the beach. They could be, exercising. So it's really about realizing that we are so magnificent. Once we start realizing our magnificence,
Expansive. We are more than what we see.
Mhm.
And we are so, depending, I feel like, on each soul, where we're at on our soul journey, we could be doing many things at once, but because we're here in the physical, all we're aware of is like right here, right? But the soul is doing so much more. That's my belief. We're not just sitting here doing just this life. I mean, there's so much more.
And
That's
so we're so lucky to be here on the planet, and that we all have a team of guides and angels and loved ones on the other side helping us to be here on this planet and to move through life the best we can all do. But we also know that it's a great place to learn, right? I mean, Earth is not a lower frequency by any means. Earth is such an important place, and I do believe so many discarnate beings, for example, want to incarnate and be here. And that's why people reincarnate, to come back and to learn about compassion, kindness, joy, forgiveness. Love.
Yeah, I love Gwendolyn said, I want them to take me to the beach and relax. Gwendolyn, just set it up. They'll do it. I go to the beach all the time in my dreams. Okay. It's a beautiful place. I have another question in here I wanted to read, and I just want to see it.
So after your question, I'm gonna say something when you're finished.
Well, go ahead and say it. I'll do this question after.
Well, what I want to do is take a pause and just remind everyone you're watching Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. Tonight's program, it's about angel emails and chit chat. Like, this is kind of a metaphysical mastermind where you are asking these amazing questions, whether they're personal about yourself or your family, or something that other people would love to hear about. So thank you. Thank you for sending your questions in, whether it's through the comment section or sending them to our email address, questions@seeingbeyondradio.com. And before Kelly does get to the next question, I really want to encourage you guys to listen to our raffle that we have going on tonight. Can we say that again, just for people who may have, and we can post that in the comment section again, Kelly.
I gotta go find it. So if you go scroll up in the private chat, you can find it and just copy it. But then you want to post it, Cheryl, in the regular comments, not the private chat. Okay. Yeah, like on the front page. Can you post in those comments?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where you want to post it, because I think you posted it in the private chat earlier.
Sorry.
That's okay. I just want to help you learn. And then let's see.
So we're doing a giveaway.
Yeah, we're doing a giveaway. Here, let's see. Here is the giveaway that we have.
Oh,
To
thank you.
enter the giveaway, you follow Cheryl's page or my page or both pages on our Facebook or on YouTube. You subscribe, one of those. You tag a friend during our live premiere tonight you think would enjoy our show. I don't know how you do that in YouTube, but I think there's a way you can invite somebody or share it with somebody, right? And then you share the live stream from Facebook or YouTube this evening and hang out with us during the show. So, and subscribe to our newsletters. So you could enter both our contests. Cheryl's raffling a free 15-minute reading.
Yes.
I am raffling a free mentorship for 3 months online that it starts this Saturday. It's
so an online.
Read about all the dates and a lot on my website. But yeah, and we'll announce the winner after the show because we have to go through and find out who did this and then pick a winner.
Yeah. I mean, we just wanted to share that with anyone just joining us, that we are doing a giveaway. And it's pretty special when you can be part of Kelly's online mentorship program. And, as Brenda had the question about the voices earlier, like Brenda, that would be a great mentorship for you, whether you sign up online or if you're near her in Sacramento area. I mean, she does teach classes too there, so you can learn from Kelly in person near the Sacramento area or online.
Yes. And so I'm going to ask this question now. Oops, where'd it go? Okay. I haven't read the whole question, but our oldest son, Joe, passed in 2017, right before his 33rd birthday. Years before that, he would spend his actual birthday alone. He did this for a long time. After he passed away, it had me thinking, did he know? Intuitively, no. Was he counting down the years, knowing it was coming at an early age? It has bothered me a long time, and I don't know if I'm assuming, or did he know and never said anything? Thank you, Josie. Oftentimes, our higher self, our soul knows something, but we're here and we're aware of something, but we don't quite understand it, and we feel it, and we might detach. Oftentimes you'll hear somebody say, I was by their side, but the minute I left the room, they passed away because they chose that, right? My son, I actually knew intuitively that he was going to pass early from the time he was 4 because my guides and my angels, or whatever you want to call them, told me. And I felt it. And I think my son felt it because the year he passed, he came home. He had been living out of state. And he said he needed to be home with family. And it was the best 5 months before he passed we had. He was such a good, kid. I mean, we just had so much fun. And he was so motivated to be, everything that we needed him to be. And he helped out with the business. And he was really close with his sister. It was a really good 5 months. And then he passed. And I think his soul knew. And that's why he came home. So yes, they do, I think, know and try to do what they need to do to help in their own way. And so perhaps your son knew this, Josie. Okay. I mean, I don't know what was going on or why he did this, but perhaps he felt it would be easier for you because you guys were so close, and he knew you needed that distance for you to be able to accept it. Yeah. What do you think, Cheryl?
I do think, the soul knows what's the unconscious, what's happening, maybe not sometimes, but is very much more aware. Is taking it, our subconscious, the unconscious takes in everything like a sponge, remembers everything from this life or other lifetimes. But sometimes our conscious mind doesn't know what's going to happen. Sometimes we get an inkling or we get an insight or we get a hunch, so to speak. That's great. Sometimes we don't know. So, I just want to add to that.
Yeah, we don't. Denise Lind asked if we can give a shout out to her mama, who's turning 85 years old today. Happy birthday to Denise's mom. And she's going to show her the video later at the nursing home.
Well, I would love to say happy birthday to you. And definitely 85 is such a great year for you. And really, you're very lucky to have Denise, because we love Denise, having her participate in our audience. So thank you, Denise, and happy birthday to your mother.
Yes, that's beautiful. Here's an interesting question here.
Okay.
Looking for some insight, my husband got stung by a bee on the backside of his neck on the left side. 30 minutes later, I got stung on the backside of my right knee. Oh, so his knee, so he got neck, she was knee. It was random for both of us. How interesting. So can I just tell my little bee story that I recently just happened to me?
Going that direction.
Let me tell you this, Maureen, because this makes me think of my bee story. So last summer we put an above ground pool in our yard, and we had no problems with bees. There was no bees in the yard. We have no shrubbery or anything, just the neighbor's yard who is right next to the pool. They have bushes, right? But we didn't have any bee problems. No bees bothered me. This summer, every time I'd go in the pool, all of a sudden there'd be 15 bees swarming around me, and they were dive bombing in my pool, and they were yellow jackets and bees. And I was like freaking out and like digging bees out with a net and trying not to get stung and dunking underwater, and I couldn't figure this out. And I've called exterminators, and like, if you don't know where the beehive is, we can't help you. And there was like no beehive in my yard. So I was going, what is going on? Then I go to the UK, and it's not that hot. And I know bees like the heat, and it's hot in Sacramento, but the UK, it's like 70s. But again, the bees are swarming around me. And my friend looks at me and she goes, that's so weird. She goes, have you thought looking up the spiritual meaning of the bee? And it was all about like getting busy and getting work done, and not procrastinating or something like that. So I want to encourage you, because it happened to both you and your husband. This must be a sign from the universe, because you both are being stubborn about something. Go look up the spiritual meaning of bees, or what the bee, like animal spirit or bug spirit, means for you. Google that and see if it resonates. I do believe there's a message, because once my friend said that to me, I looked up the message and I'm like, oh my gosh, that totally resonates. I get it. I haven't had a bee since. I've been going swimming with no bees. Nothing.
It's exactly how it happens too, is the animals, the insects, they come around to get your attention. And once you get the message, then they usually disappear.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, and I'm like, here, a spiritual person going, what are all these bees? Like, I need to get rid of them. I have so many bee traps all around the yard, not one bee in them. I mean, my husband's like, there's no bees, because he never saw them. Every time he'd come out, they'd go away. So yeah. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Question from the emails. I want to answer a question from our emails. Brittany Sanders is asking this. Hi, ladies. I have a question about psychic and anxiety. Do either of you have sensations that seem to come out of the blue, like anxiety? I'm wondering if my anxiety actually is someone from the other realm trying to get my attention.
Yes. Right?
Yes.
What about you, Cheryl?
Absolutely. I do believe your anxiety is your expression, or your sensing things beyond, this realm. Now, sometimes we do have anxiety. I mean, sometimes it can be anxiety. All right. And it can be or panic attacks, but let's go with anxiety. A lot of times, when you are experiencing an anxious moment, it could be that you are connecting with someone from the spirit realm, a guide, an angel, to help bring comfort. But in some way, it just feels like anxiety to us.
It's
so
overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming. Good answer. And so, Brittany, next time this happens, reach out, try to think beyond your own feelings and say, look, is someone trying to, reach out to me? If someone's, and because I want to say, Brittany, it dissipates. The anxiety dissipates once you acknowledge that you have it, that you start asking the spirit world to show you a sign. Who is it? What are you trying to tell me? Who's there to help me? Can you answer a question for me? As soon as you start this process of connecting or blending with spirit by sending your love to them, asking them for help, your anxiety will go down, go down, go down. And just remember to breathe. Always breathe down to the belly.
And I'll say this, I had panic attacks, anxiety ever since I was a child, and didn't understand why. And so you might also be what I am as an empath. I was picking up the energy of the people around me. So if I'm in traffic and there's a lot of road rage, I'm feeling that, right? And I'm getting anxious on the road. If I'm at a work environment where that's a bit hostile or there's some stress, I'm picking up everybody's like stress and feeling it and having panic attacks. And it took me till I started developing to understand that. And it went away when I started to develop. When I do feel panic or anxiety now, I like to breathe in through my nose and get all the way down to the belly, like Cheryl said, and then I blow it out through my mouth. And I just say, okay, if this is you, Spirit, I'm putting a bubble around me, and not right now. I'm not working, and it goes away. That works for me.
And sometimes before I go to work to do my readings with clients, if I start feeling anxious, or if I have other symptoms, like I may start getting headaches, or I may start feeling happy, this is usually the anxiety, the headaches, discomfort or irritation, anything like that. I'm usually tuning into something the client is feeling because they're nervous about getting the read. They've never had a reading before, or they ask me about the headaches they've been having because, I do a lot of health intuition as well.
Right.
And scanning, medical scanning, or, body scanning, I'll just say that. But it is about being aware, because sometimes, like when you're in a really good mood and you hang out with a group of people, like or Kelly said, you go into the grocery store or wherever, and all of a sudden you just feel different. You're like, what happened? What's changed? Well, what's changed is you've been around different energies, And so just realize how, do a check-in, do a home base. How am I feeling in
Clear
my
your energy if you can.
Me right now? Where's my energy? Right?
So here's a great question that I really want to answer. Is it more difficult for our loved ones to connect to us if their passing is fairly new within the past month or two? Let me just say, I know that there's different mediums will say yes, some will say no. I've never had any issues. I've connected with spirit the day they died. I've connected with them when they're in a coma and they're dying and they tell me they're leaving. So for me, it's more a matter of if the client is open to it and not grieving so much. It's difficult for a medium to connect with somebody who recently passed if the client is in the room just bawling their eyes out and can't answer anything because they're just sobbing, because that's distracting. So grief has a lot to do with it, and we need to take care of ourselves before we connect with our loved ones, I believe. My son came through immediately after he passed. It was crazy. I mean, it was like right away, like the day he passed, I had a connection with him. And I know I'm a medium, but like I've always connected with people that have passed like the day they passed. Everyone that's ever passed that I was close to came to me in my dreams. The only time that doesn't happen for me or hasn't happened was my best friend Dia. That was very traumatic for me because it was shortly after my son, and my connection with her, she was like a sister. And I was with her till the very end almost. I mean, I left literally, like she died like hours after I left because that's what she wanted. But I had connected with her before she died. She was in a coma and had already left her body and told me that she was, leaving. And I gave her permission, I guess, in a sense, and told her, we'd take care of the kids. I didn't, that was almost 5 years ago. I just started hearing from her because it's been so hard for me. And then the other one is my mom. My mom passed away last year. My relationship with my mom was always difficult. And I want to say her passing was not something that was, I would wish on anybody. It was not a good passing for somebody. And I've had a hard time connecting with her. And that's because of me, not because my mom can't connect. Well, it might be. Maybe she's not ready as well. It could be both. But I don't believe there is a waiting period. No. I know some people believe that, and maybe that's how they work, but not me. What about you, Cheryl?
Yeah, Leanne, that's a great question, Leanne. And I do that every person you ask hopefully will speak from their own experience. I know in my belief system, I know I've connected with a spiritual sister of mine who we knew was passing. She was passing from cancer, and we were connecting with her as she was making the transition. And believe me, she was very open and intuitive, and she was ready to connect with us right away. So that was an amazing experience in itself. And so, yes, you can connect with loved ones and soon after they pass. I don't believe that there's any difficulty around that. And really, but just to share with you, I know that your loved ones are always supporting you and watching you. And if they feel that you're grieving and this may not be the time that you need to experience what you're going through and your emotions and work with that, then they are extremely respectful. And we always have to trust the process, so to speak.
Yes, exactly. And I hate to be a hog, Cheryl, but there's another great question.
They're all great questions, really.
I know there's so many great questions.
Tonight I hope we're recording this because I'm just the questions coming through you guys are asking are pretty very advanced. Let's just say that.
Yes, and I am so grateful for these questions. I lost my question. Well, this one's interesting. I'm just gonna pop this right up here. My stepmom saw 3 tall aliens in my guest room. Any info on that? One was yellow, one was blue, and one was all white. I'm not going to deny it. I think it's quite possible. And I had an experience as a child with my brothers. I think I was about 5. They were 6 and 7. We shared a room. It was Halloween. My mother was dating a cop at the time. And we were in bed now because it was like 10 o'clock and we were in our bed. And suddenly I saw the Fruit of the Loom guys standing behind our toy box. And my brother saw other characters. We all saw different people. And then suddenly there was flames behind the toy box. And then the flames were gone. And on the back of the toy box was like a weird message that we couldn't read or understand, but it was words, like kind of like weird lettering. And the policeman that my mom was dating ran in because he heard all the commotion and they smelled the fire and saw all of this. The wall was like burnt and was like, thought we were playing with matches, but we were all in bed. And it was quite the weird experience. And the fact that all 3 of us saw something different, to this day, we all like will argue on this, of what we saw and what we experienced. But either way, I believe that what we all experienced was real. And it was just for us, like it came the way it came. And I do think it had to do with aliens. I mean, I don't know. It's not a story I like to share often because it sounds crazy. But I would say don't doubt your mom. And the yellow, the blue, and the white must have something to do. And maybe your mom resonates with something with that. I don't know. Only she could answer. Yeah, you laugh at me. I laugh at it too, Courtney. She's laughing at me. But it was quite an experience. I mean, recently my brother and I, we haven't talked about it since we were children. And we're in our 50s now. And we were together for Thanksgiving a couple of years ago. And he brought it up. And I was like, oh, no, here it goes. I'm like, your girlfriend's going to think we're crazy. But yeah, it was quite an experience.
I would go for it. I mean, Terry, you could even in your meditation or with your mom, meditate, ask, find out more information, tune in, so to speak. It doesn't sound like it might have been the first time that they visited you, or perhaps you had an instinct, or, you were feeling something around before this happened. So very interesting to look back at how you were feeling or thinking before your experiences and what's happening now. And I think it's fascinating. They really do.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird story, and we were told never to talk about it as children because my mom thought people would think we were crazy. And her boyfriend, who was the cop, he called out like a bunch of police officers that came and searched around our house, the neighborhood, everything. And the fire department came. I mean, it was a big deal. I remember it. I'll never forget it. It was interesting.
Sharon's asking me to answer her question, but I am scrolling up. I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing it at the moment. But I'll look for Sharon's question. If Kelly, do you want to tell us about your upcoming events or?
Yeah. So I have my mentorship starting this weekend. So the online one starts on Saturday. You can still join if anybody's interested, or even win if you wanted to share and all of that. The other thing is I have my in-person one. So if you're in the Sacramento or near the Sacramento area, the in-person one is nice because if you don't want to, if you're far away, like maybe you're an hour away, it might be worth it because once a month we meet for 3 hours on the weekend. And then during the week, there's 6 development circles throughout the 3 months, 6 or 7 development circles throughout the 3 months. And all the dates are on the website. And that one's great because you get to kind of get one-on-one in-person teaching as well. So if you can't do that and you want to do online, both are available still. I still have room. They're nice small groups. I don't think I've even reached 10. I think I'm at 9 in my in-person one, and I think, I don't know, 4 or something on my online one. So they're nice small groups, so you'll get a lot of individual work. Definitely check that out. I do have small group readings coming up as well, in person and online the weekend after this. So you could still get tickets for that. You could just go to my website. Then I have this month as well. I have my open mic night at my Love and Light Center where hopefully the mediums will sign up. So far they've been chickening out, but I think my students are going to sign up, and you can come and be an audience member and get a reading maybe from one of my students or myself, because I'll be doing some readings too. And it's really affordable. It's $15, and it's a real fun night. The $15 really covers the wine that I serve and the snacks that I serve, and I set it up with tables so you can kind of come with all your friends and have a good night. We try to keep it a very loving environment. So check that out. And then in October, Cheryl and I are going to be in New York at the end of the month. So if you're in like the Brooklyn area or New York area and you want to see us or meet us, check out our new Living Expo. We'll be posting about it a lot here coming up soon. We're just waiting to find out what our booth number is and when our talks are. But then we're going to also have readings that we're going to be doing, right?
Yes, we are. But it's coming up. It's October 27th, I believe, through the 29th. It's that last weekend in October.
So, yes.
But it's a New Life Expo. We're so excited to be sharing that with you. If you are in the Brooklyn area or New York, just please keep us in mind. We'd love to meet you, love to see you. And we're so excited. We're going to get to go to New York and be part of that wonderful expo.
Yes. And Cheryl, did you want to share your events?
Yeah, can I share?
Yes, go for it.
I have some small group reading events coming up. They're called the Circle of Love small group reading events. My next one is September 14th, and I do believe I have a ticket left there, maybe 2 tickets, but that's filling up. And then also October's coming up too, so it's October 24th. So September 14th, October 24th. I'd love to see you there. And then also I have my Healing Prayer Circle on Sunday nights. That's free to join. I'd love to see you there. And we do guided meditation, and we do healing and prayer and manifesting work. So that's always fun. That's every Sunday night at 6 p.m. And then if you are around this coming Friday, September 8th, I'm going to be doing an online fundraiser. I'm not doing it. I'm participating in it. I'm one of the mediums in this program where we're trying to raise money for Maui, Hawaii, and the Lahaina fires, trying to help people who have lost their homes. So 100% of the donations go towards that. That's coming up September 8th. All right.
And there's great mediums in that event, so it'll be a lot of fun.
There'll be a lot of mediums, and a lot of readings happening. I'm not the organizer, but I was asked to participate. And as you know, I used to live in Lahaina and work there, and I loved it very much. It's very close to my heart. And then lastly, look, October is a big month. There's a lot going on. I have another event with Lori Albert coming up. I'll tell you more about that, but it's another small group reading event. So I'm loving that. And I'm meeting so many neat people from doing these events, Kelly. I just want to say,
I love it.
Online events, meeting all of you that either come to me for private reading or are part of the circles. It's just great because it's such a gift to be with so many great people with open minds and open hearts.
And let me just say, Cheryl, you're not aware of this yet, but Kimberly Meredith and I were just discussing doing a live event in LA next year with you. And we're thinking like a 3-hour workshop at one of the stores that she's been working at that she really loves.
I love that.
I was gonna do a little group message to you today with her because her and I talked this morning. So if you're in the LA area and if Cheryl's open to it, it might be, I don't know, we have to come up with a month. Like it might be like April or May or something, or June.
Count me in.
Yeah. And that'll be exciting, an in-person event. Won't that be fun?
That'll be great.
Like a healing and mediumship kind of workshop where we do all of this, but also answer questions and do readings.
It'd be tremendous.
But in person.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Question, but we may do a short answer, Kelly. Sharon asked me if I could really answer her question. It says, are our loved ones with us all the time, or do they come and go? So we'll try to answer that in just a moment, because we're right at the end of the show. But do our loved ones, are they with us all the time, Kelly, or do they come and go?
I think they're with us when we need them, and they can be with us in a thought. And I think they're with whoever needs them. And at the same time, they're also doing their own work. But I think they're aware of us all the time, I believe. I think we live kind of like side by side, concurrently at the same time, but together. We're connected, I believe. What about you, Cheryl?
I love it. I do feel they're with us more than we know. Mm-hmm. And I do believe they're with us when we need them the most, whether we know we need them the most or not. They know. And I know that we learn to trust them and love them, and we become more aware of their presence the more we talk to them, the more we connect with them. I mean, these are people, these are people, and their love for you is even going to grow stronger, if you can believe that. But it will grow stronger, and relationships that weren't so great here on earth can really develop into something amazing on the other side through forgiveness and the willingness to, bring two people together with a higher understanding. So you can still connect with your loved ones when they're crossed over, and even keep that relationship and development about learning about them and understanding more about them. And that's through developing your own intuition and working on yourself too. We have to work on our own stuff as well.
Yes.
That was a great question. What a great way to end the show.
So many amazing questions tonight. Like I need to write them all down, and we should make a book of questions and answers.
Someone needs to be keeping track of these.
It is recorded, yeah. Brianna, questions. Brianna, maybe that's a new job for you, Brianna. You're going to help us write our book of questions.
But thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. And Kelly, as we say goodnight, is there any final words or messages?
Just so happy to be back and feeling good for once. Finally, it's been a long journey to get here. Whenever I travel, man, it just kicks my butt. So I'm just so happy to be back. I'm so happy to have all these amazing questions and everybody here tonight. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
Thank you to all of our listeners, and thank you, everyone. We will see you next Wednesday for Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. Thank you guys for being such a big part of our audience, a big part of this amazing spiritual journey that we are all on. Join us for one of our events, and please sign up for the raffle. You can find the links here in the comments section. With Kelly, we wish you a fantastic week, and really sending all our love. Aloha. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Good night, everybody.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.